And we have brand new developments to tell you about now in the search for missing Utah mom, Susan Powell. We are now learning that her husband, Josh, skipped an interview with the police. Investigators wanted to speak to him again. But now the word is that Josh's new high-profile criminal defense attorney has advised him that he should not speak with them, that he shouldn't speak with them yesterday. Now, Susan, who you see here in the blue shirt, has now been gone for over a week. Josh claims that the last time he saw his wife was right before he took their two young sons on a late-night camping trip about 12:30 in the morning. Sub-freezing temperatures that night outside. Here's what Josh had to say the last time he spoke to reporters. Take a look.
We just miss her and we want her back, and I love her and my boys love her.
All right, Bob Massi is a Fox News legal analyst, and joining me on the phone is Mark Furman. He is a former LAPD homicide detective and Fox News contributor. Mark, let me go to you first. What do you make of the fact that the attorney has now been hired by Josh and that they advised him not to speak to the police yesterday morning?
Well, Martha, I think it's very telling that an attorney has advised the husband of a missing woman not to talk. Now, certainly in normal circumstances, that would offer conduct, habits, friends, family members, anybody, any place that she might be. But now he's stopped talking. I have a feeling this is because the presumptive tests on that wet spot in the home has probably come back to be that of some kind of human matter, whether it's DNA or bodily fluids, and that is going to be very hard to explain.
Yeah. Bob, you know, just to clarify for everybody, what they're talking about is that when the police went into the house, there was a large wet spot on the carpet and two fans aimed at drying that spot. Very unusual thing to find in a house under these circumstances, right?
Certainly. I mean, as Mark said, there must be some objective findings, Martha. Otherwise, I'm sure his lawyer would probably be taken a different way. The other thing is his story as relates, most 2- and 4-year-olds, I think we would all agree as parents, are sleeping at 12:30 a.m. in the evening or early morning and not being taken out for purposes of a camping trip. So his, if you will, alibi really reeks with suspicion, and obviously didn't get any type of advice as that type of statement. So between any forensics and the story that he's telling, obviously, as we know, whenever you have a missing spouse, who do they go to first? The spouse that's still around with children.
Yeah, and you know, Mark, it seems like everybody has been wanting to give this husband the benefit of the doubt, but all of these circumstances are, as Bob's saying, very strange. This spot on the carpet, leaving in the middle of the night at 12:30 at night. He said he took his 2-year-old and 4-year-old out for a camping trip, but he says, you know, we do that sometimes. Even her father, when interviewed, said, well, I found that believable.
Martha, it's absurd. It's absurd.
Yeah.
It's absurd in the middle of springtime or summer to wake up a 4-year-old, 2-year-old in the middle of the night to go out and sleep in a van in the desert for no real purpose. It's absurd to think that a man that has a regular job and is not a mental patient forgets what day it is, decides that on Sunday night, telling his wife goodbye, she decides not to go because she's not feeling well. She wouldn't say, well, what about work tomorrow? You need to go to work. It's Sunday, not Saturday. I mean, this is absurd from start to finish. And let me just say something else. We don't know where Susan Powell was that entire day of Sunday after she made last contact with a friend or a family member. So that means that we do not know her status, whether missing, dead, or alive, and we don't know where she was when he went on this mysterious camping trip into the middle of the night. It was more like a survival trip, not a camping trip.
You know,
it's interesting.
Bob, I just want to clarify also what Mark was talking about, because the husband, Joshua, said he didn't show up for work on Monday, and he said the reason was that when he was camping, he forgot what day it was. He thought it was still the weekend, and he didn't show up for work on Monday. And also, I just want to mention, Bob, and get your thoughts on this, the police have interviewed the 4-year-old son. You know, obviously, they haven't disclosed what they talked to this child about, but, you know, there is the possibility, as we've seen in other cases, that this boy may have seen something, God forbid, and may have said something.
Yes, and obviously, I'm sure that's whatever psychological profile to help this little boy if there was an experience. And kids, as you know, Martha, many times there's no filters. They blatantly tell the truth. It depends on, to what extent this boy saw. The other thing is this reeks of, it's eerie almost, of Lacey Peterson. When you hear this type of stuff, where they go back to the scene of the crime, as Mark indicated, there is a period of time there when, she's not known where she at that particular time. Did he go back to that area where maybe, God forbid, if there was something, to go to sort of the scene of the crime type of thing? It's a very eerie case. His alibis make no sense. He's hurt himself irreparably, which is probably why he's lawyered up.
Martha, could I add one thing on this?
Yeah, quickly, Mark, if you can.
Quickly, the wet spot, if that is forensically connected to the wife, are we to suspect that the husband leaves in the middle of the night, a suspect comes in, kidnaps, kills, or commits some other crime, cleans up the crime scene, and just happens to know where two fans are in the house to actually dry it out?
All right. Well, you guys have raised, obviously, there are some very big questions surrounding this story. The police, we should point out, have not said that this husband is a suspect yet, but all of these things are clearly curious and are raising a lot of questions about what might have happened here. Bob Massi and Mark Furman, we will continue to follow this story with your help. Thank you very much, guys.